Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is April 13th, 2023, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, oil breaks higher after getting that gap up and trading in a really tight range. It finally breaks out higher. But first, looking at the major economic events of today. So out of the United States at 2:30 South African time, we have a core PPI number. That's a producer's price index. It's an inflationary number on the producer side, and that's coming out. Now looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbol, the US dollar wavers lower versus the major pairs after the Fed minutes last night. And looking at the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ both trickle lower. Looking at commodities, gold holds above support of that 2020, and oil, as mentioned, gains. I'm looking at the stocks. It's the tech stocks that are tracing lower, including Amazon. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin holding to its gains above 30K. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. We're going to take a look at the Euro USD, and we're hitting 110. They just hit it just now, and you can see it right now. We're breaking higher over here versus US dollar, and this does mean if it clears 110 and clears a little bit more, I would say somewhere in the 1030, 1040, 1050 even, that means we could get closer to 11, maybe even 113 versus US dollar. So keep an eye on this because the dollar is getting weaker here versus the euro. Now looking at the GBP USD also, it looks like it wants to take it out. And this is really going to be a very important day for the dollar against major pairs. And looking at Japanese yen, not doing much. Okay, so out of the three, the euro and the GBP strongest versus the dollar as opposed to the Japanese yen. Now looking at commodities, gold holding above that 2024-ish level. Let's look at a 4-hour chart. That's a little bit clearer. I'm going to take the histogram here and make it a little bit smaller. And this is clear that it still has way to go up. Okay, both above this area. It hasn't been overbought yet. Okay, now remember, we have a high, all-time high of about 2060, 2050. So we're not that far away from it. And this does look like it wants to take it higher. Now look at crude oil. It's trading at $83 right now, okay, but it did pop out. We were in a very tight range, about $80 to $81 for over a week and a half, and this is the first time we're actually popping up above that 82, 83-ish level, and that's important because if we look at a daily, we haven't been around this area in quite some time, and we're breaking above the 200-day moving average, which is really important. Now looking at the U.S. markets, okay, the Dow Jones first, okay, retracing here from 34,000 down to 33,853. Now we do have a major component of the Dow Jones coming out with earning reports on Friday. That's JP Morgan, which is the largest bank. We do cover it here in the daily review. And, you know, this is right before the major part of all the earnings reports. This week, next week, and the following week is going to be like a tidal wave of all the corporate earnings the first quarter for the year for all these corporations. So this is really very important. Now looking at the NASDAQ retracing just a little bit here to 12,900-ish level. Also retracing. Now if we look at the stocks, they retraced. Okay, Facebook did retrace. Not much, but it retraced. Microsoft retracing. Apple retracing. So everything is just coming in. The biggest sell-off out of all of them was Amazon. Okay, this is really important because you want to see what's the weakest of the ones that are selling off, because that one is usually the one that's going to continue selling off. Now we are getting to a supportish area, so I do expect a bounce pretty soon as these are going to change their direction. I mean, even Cisco and Intel sold off and came in a little bit, okay, but they've had a nice run, okay? They really had a nice run for 2023 so far. Now, lastly, looking at Bitcoin holding to 30K, and if it does continue to hold it, we may be able to push it to 33, 34, and then we hit retracement, and then we hit resistance-ish area, so keep that in mind as this is going higher. Now, the markets are still consolidating some of the economic data, economic news that is happening in the markets, so keep that in mind as we're rotating the markets right now. This is Razak, and we wish everybody a great trading day. Thank you.